What's up, guys, and welcome to our Australian GP review. So, we both saw the race today.
Yeah.
I actually just watched it for the second time with you,
yeah.
so you could see it.
Yep.
We need to get you a way to watch them live.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out. But for right now, I guess that was the first time you got to see a race like on TV as broadcasted.
Yeah.
And
Legit
I guess,
one.
what did you think? Was it interesting? Did you like it? Did you dislike it?
So I did enjoy it. The only thing was the safety cars.
Yes, there were a lot of safety cars.
That was
today.
just trash.
There were quite a few safety cars.
It was so
today.
bad because I was like, it was legit. We started skipping them, so
Yeah.
that made it a lot bearable. But like, I feel like watching it live, it was like I saw half an hour.
Oh, at least, yeah. And
Like,
for
yeah.
some of them, they were out entirely
Yeah.
too long, just
Like,
running laps.
yeah.
I don't know why the safety car was out that long, but
Yeah.
there were times after it was completely cleared, after like later crashes in the race, and the safety car was just still out.
Yeah.
It was not coming in, and they were just following it around at like 5 minutes a lap.
Yeah. Like watching it live, that would have bothered me. I'd been like, yo.
It
But like,
happens sometimes.
I feel like watching it live too. You're probably like watching other shit, or like doing other shit, or like
No, I watch them.
you just sit through the whole thing.
Dude, it's a race.
Like even like the safety car in real life. You're
Well, what are you
sitting
going to go do? Something could happen during the safety car. Someone
I
could
mean,
hit
I don't
a
know.
wall.
Like go watch a YouTube video.
Someone could hit a wall.
God damn. Nah, that's wild.
People have
do
crashed behind the safety car before.
I could see, but like I think this also just shows the level of fandom, I guess.
Yeah, we
You're
gotta
an actual
get you
fan.
indoctrinated.
Yeah, see, for
here.
me, I'm like, if I was watching that race live, I guarantee I'm watching a YouTube video on the side.
Really?
100%.
Nah,
It's like,
it's-
a crash happens, I'll be like, oh, dang.
We'll
cool.
get you there. We'll get you there. You got to be more involved than that.
Alright.
We'll get you there. Though. We'll get you there.
Alright, true.
But yeah, so I guess we both made our predictions before
Yeah.
this. Do you remember yours?
I think mine was Lando.
We should have written them down. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no, I did. You made me write down a
I
note.
did-
Where's my phone?
I don't know where you're.
Let me go grab my phone. Should I go grab
No, go grab
it. Now that we're here.
It's not a single cut, guys.
I think I ended up switching the order up when we actually started recording.
Yeah.
But at least what I've written down, Lando, Max, and then Leclerc.
You only have 3 written down.
That was for
You did the same
that was
for
order.
both.
Yeah.
You did the same for both.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I think I ended up picking Piastri for third. I think on the actual video, something like that. Because I think you were like, oh, Piastri's gonna do well. So I was like, oh man, I'll throw him in.
You
third.
might have changed him to 3rd for the race.
Yeah.
We'll write this down.
Yeah, we'll write this down as the future. Yeah.
But I mean, I know what mine were. I had Lando and Oscar and Leclerc. I think is my top 3 in qualifying.
True.
And then I had Lando, Leclerc, and Oscar
True.
for the
True.
main race.
Dang, I
Which
didn't-
Lando was right.
Yeah.
We both had Lando,
Yeah.
P1 in both. None of the other ones were. Oh,
Max.
you actually had
I had
Max
Max,
3rd in the
yeah.
qualifying, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to be there. Red Bull's car was way faster than I expected it to be over 1 lap, and then Max was able to stick with them in the race too.
Yeah.
When McLaren clearly had the best car. So he was able to kind of stick with them for the first little part of the race there, and then started to drop back as his tires fell off.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think we're going to see the McLaren be pretty fast here in upcoming
Yeah.
races too.
No, when they were up 16 seconds. that
Yeah,
was
when they
wild.
were both just flying
Yeah,
away from
that
him
was
and they were
crazy.
fighting at the
Yeah.
front. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then McLaren did team orders and told them to stop fighting. So that came in pretty quick. I didn't think we'd see that early or
Yeah.
this early in the season.
Facts.
This is like a thing that's been happening in Formula One for a long time too.
What?
Team orders.
True.
So, because usually teams will have like a top driver and a lower driver, or a number 2
Yeah,
driver.
yeah.
So they'll prioritize the first one. But McLaren's always like, no, they're both number 1 drivers. They
They're
can
both
fight
the
for the
best.
win.
Yeah,
But that cost them some points last year.
Yeah, no, I
having it
remember
like
from
that.
the Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
That was
So that
awesome.
caused them some
Yeah.
problems last year.
Yeah.
So they did team orders this time.
Yeah.
And Lando won, and Oscar was told to stop chasing him.
Yeah.
So they were also super weird. Like 3 laps later, Oscar had made a mistake and was 3 seconds behind him. And they were like, yep, you're good to fight again. Papaya rules.
Yeah. That was wild.
So they took that away when he was within a second, and then just brought it back as soon as he was too far away to actually fight for the position.
Yeah, yeah.
So that'll be kind of interesting to watch as it keeps going too, because they both want to win the championship.
Yeah, facts.
So that's the
Facts.
whole thing you got to realize too. Like
Facts.
the other guys who are not in McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, or even Mercedes might not have a chance at all, or probably won't have a chance at all to win a race this season.
Dang.
So
yeah.
you only get so many chances when
Right.
your car is good enough to actually be able to make
To be
that
viable.
happen. So they're both
Yeah.
like, it needs to happen
Yeah.
now.
How much
So
of
that
it
might
is,
get a little
like,
spicy going through the season if it ends up being just a Max versus Oscar fight.
facts. Facts.
Because it'll just be them fighting over position the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah. How much is it like driver skill, and how much is it the car?
It's the great question, isn't it?
Yeah, like
The car has to be fast compared to the other cars.
yeah.
But like, look at Max, for
Yeah.
example. He's probably driving that Red Bull faster than everyone else could drive that Red Bull.
Facts.
And that
facts.
kind of goes into what makes him a special driver in that way, is he just kind of
He can drive
never makes a
wherever.
mistake.
Yeah.
He knows how to get pace out of it, he knows how to figure it out, and he can just feel the grip, essentially.
Yeah, that's
and he's
wild.
kind of perfect with that.
Yeah.
That being said, Lando and Oscar, I think, are both pretty fast too. So I think they have the fastest car, but they also
Yeah,
have
also
two
do.
drivers who are extremely quick.
True.
So
True.
you'll see them kind of pull out and run away from Max when they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Facts.
And I also think we'll see Ferrari get back up. Ferrari had a horrible race.
Yeah. That was wild.
After gambling on the
Yeah.
slick tires, waiting for the rain to stop,
Mm-hmm.
and then pitting during the safety car dropped them down to 9th and 10th.
Yeah. That was wild.
They were able to come back a little bit, but was not their best day.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see them again soon. Little disappointing from what people were hoping for them for this season too. We're hoping they would be much closer to the front there. And then George ended up on the podium. So Mercedes is looking
They're
okay, but I mean, even when the beginning of the race and everyone was just running single file there for a while before Oscar got past Max, they were dropping George. George was like 8 or 9 seconds behind them by the time they passed
Yeah.
Max.
Facts. Facts.
And then he still had that distance back to him too. So it'll be interesting because it was all wet today. We
Yeah.
actually didn't even really see any dry tire running. We
Yeah.
got like 2 or 3 laps, but the track was still damp. So they were still
Yeah.
struggling to figure out where exactly grip
Facts.
was. Probably
Facts.
weren't driving completely 100% all out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think next week it's going to be drier in China. I think it'll be a
Okay,
little
where
better.
is it?
China.
No, like city.
Uh,
You don't know.
I'm not positive.
True. True. Okay. Is China is it hot there right now? Like, is it summer? Okay, you don't even know that. True. All right.
I don't know the local climate of where they're racing in
Yeah.
China. No, but
it's
it should be
dry.
it should be much more like warm,
Dry.
dry.
Okay,
I mean, I think they got a bad day. Like it was cooking and just sunny the first 2 days in Australia, and then we ended up getting rain.
True.
But it does make for interesting races like
Yeah.
that too.
Facts. Facts.
But like you were like all the safety cars.
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy too, because as far as I could tell, I didn't think anyone hit each other. There was something weird with Gabriel Bortoletta's when he went out. It looked like his rear tire was already broken by the time he spun out.
Damn.
I wasn't sure if that was just me seeing that, but and maybe it wasn't. But he could have hit someone, but I don't think anyone had any contact with another driver, and that'll happen too.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see if the dry running next week just completely changes up the order. I guess, was there anything from the race that really stuck out to you as like a
Like.
moment? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess probably the best thing was probably Max. Like Max trying to chase.
Just trying to
Lando
chase
down, yeah.
Lando
Like,
at
that
the
was
beginning.
Cool. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then especially the
At the end, the
yeah,
very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like even like right before it when Ferrari was like second and third.
Yeah.
And then eventually like Hamilton was the first at a point.
Mhm.
Like that whole series was cool.
Yeah, that was when it was raining.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
stayed out on their slicks.
Exactly. And then they would dropped. So that
Yeah.
whole like what was it, like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
That was sick. But yeah, I feel like that was like the most important part. or like the
That was, I
height
would say,
of
where the
race.
most was to lose.
Yeah, the most significant
And
part.
McLaren's, both of them went off. That was where Oscar fell all the way down from second, which
Yeah,
he
that
ended
was
up
wild,
coming
too.
back a
That was
little
wild,
bit,
too.
but that might be important in the
Yeah.
championship here too. Especially if it's just them fighting. Lando has a good little lead on
Yeah.
points now. He's like 22 points ahead. And for the first time, Lando is leading Max in the World Drivers' Championship. So they were fighting last year, but he was
Yeah.
always behind. So that'll be interesting to see here too.
Dang.
I think Red Bull in the dry will be a little further away too. I think he'll find it harder to keep up.
Really.
Um,
True.
Well, his tires went out pretty quick, and it didn't look like the McLarens did. So that should be true for dry tires too.
True.
So their tires will last longer, I think.
Dang. Are they, does each team use different tires?
No, they're all the same tires.
Then how is what's the difference?
What do you mean use
Like-
different tires?
Like how is Max's tire better then?
Max's tires weren't better. They wore down quicker.
Or yeah, sorry, how are McLaren's better?
It's not the tires. It's how the car rides on them.
Oh,
And
okay,
different
okay.
geometry in the suspension of the cars
True,
will
true,
make
true.
certain parts slide more, and
Okay,
that's where you get
okay.
tire wear.
Okay.
So,
okay.
however they built the McLaren to
It's
sit
just
there,
lighter on
it's
the
just
wheel, on the tire.
it's not using them as much.
Right, okay, that makes more sense. Dang, yeah, no, that's wild.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what
Mm-hmm.
happens here going into next week. Hopefully we do get a little bit closer, otherwise it's just going to be McLaren fighting out front. And you never saw any of the Mercedes seasons or the
Yeah.
season Max dominated.
Yeah.
But that's less interesting if
True.
it's just two
It's
cars
just-
way
it's just
away
tight.
out front.
Yeah.
It's nice when they fight for the win, which we actually had today with that battle at the end too.
Yeah. Facts.
After the final safety car.
Facts.
But yeah, Lando took the win. Made
Yeah.
almost no mistakes. Went off on slick tires, but managed to keep it in the lead. So yeah, hoping for another win next week from him.
Yep.
You got anything else about the race? I guess. I mean, it was your first race.
Yeah, it was
you've
my
ever
first
seen.
race. Yeah. No, I think
Was it what you expected from
Honestly,
seeing Drive to Survive?
honestly I thought it would be more boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it would be because my only reference to watching any type of racing before this is probably NASCAR.
Yeah.
And NASCAR, I'm always like, all right. After a few minutes, I'm like, all right, this is kind of dry.
You got to get into it.
Yeah, but see, I think this is different because it's a shorter race. It's only 57 laps. Or I say only,
It's
but we also
57,
skip
but it was
through.
like a 3-mile track too.
Yeah.
So
facts.
the NASCAR ovals won't be 3 miles, I don't think.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, less laps but longer tracks a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
So it's like it makes it more I don't want to say bearable, but
Yeah.
it really is just more bearable to watch.
Fair.
It's a more enjoyable watch, and there's more dynamic shit going on. I guess.
And this race was long too,
Yeah,
because of the
yeah,
safety
safety
cars.
cars,
Yeah.
facts. Yeah, but and then I guess I do know people now, so that's
Yeah.
also probably a different thing.
So that should help too. Is
Yeah.
you because you watch Drive to Survive,
Yeah.
you know the drivers, you can kind of follow them
Yeah.
too.
No, exactly. And I do want to. I think I'm watching it more so because I want to see the new season of Drive to Survive. I'm
Yeah.
that's kind of the perspective I have going into it. Is I'm trying to see the next season and actually have actually know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
kind of thing too. So I think I'm watching it more so for the show than the sport itself right now.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get an amazing season and
Facts.
bring you over to it.
Facts. I'll be yo,
Yeah.
F1's lit. I already think it's super cool. I do the way that the cars are built specifically.
Yeah.
And for the second.
Just
For
to
a
do
second-
this
second,
for a
like-
tenth of a second.
Yeah, that is super wild. But yeah, I would say I'm still very much a casual.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
much a casual fan.
We'll bring you in.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
facts. True.
But all right, guys. Yeah, that's I guess kind of
Yeah.
our thoughts on the
Mhm.
Australian GP there.
Yep.
Was a pretty good race, minus some annoying safety cars.
Yeah.
But
Facts.
yeah, McLaren's gonna be fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week for China.
Dose.